Good evening, I'm Danita Harris.
And I'm Chris Flanagan. Hundreds of suspected rapists remain free tonight while their victims remain locked in a prison of terror. An exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation uncovers why key evidence that could put them behind bars is instead sitting on shelves. On Your Side Chief Investigator Ron Regan joins us with how this could happen. Ron.
Well, Chris, you're about to meet a very brave and courageous young woman who wants to tell her story. But first, we found evidence involving more than 2,000 women across Ohio whose attackers remain on the street tonight. That's because key evidence that could convict them remains inside a box like this.
It's unfair and it's unjust, and it made me lose a lot of faith in the justice system.
Amanda Sloan went from a teenage girl honored for working with disabled children.
They still would want to give you a hug and just be happy to be there and be on that horse, and it put things in perspective.
To something she never dreamed would happen to her.
I was a virgin. I was never interested in dating because I was so involved with everything else.
Once recognized with this citation from Ohio's legislature for making the world a better place, Amanda's world was shattered.
He took me into the field and made me take my clothes off, lay on the ground, covered my face, and he raped me.
The man who raped Amanda has never been found.
I had nightmares for a couple months. There were nights that I would not fall asleep until the sun came up.
But what's inside a box like this could identify him.
What happened to your rape kit?
I have no idea. As far as I know, it's still sitting in a box in the police department somewhere.
Rape kits contain DNA evidence. It's obtained from victims in the hours after an assault, and it can instantly identify suspects whose DNA is already on file. Our 5 on Your Side investigation obtained a computer database of rape kits across Ohio and gained rare access to Ohio's crime lab. We found more than 2,000 rape kits across Ohio went untested for years.
It's not fair to them to never have closure and not have the person that did that to them be punished or at least get them off the streets so they can't continue to do it to other people.
They'd been sitting in police department evidence rooms because there was often no funding for testing. Now that's changing. Under a program launched by Ohio's Attorney General, those kits have now been turned over to forensic scientists here at the state crime lab for testing. They include nearly 1,000 untested rape kits from Cleveland, 207 from Akron, 58 from Lorain, and 48 more from Lakewood. Attorney General Mike DeWine believes rapists will be identified.
I can almost guarantee you that we're going to solve some crimes and find out some things that's very, very valuable to protect the public.
But it's been nearly a year.
Nothing ever works as fast as I want it to work.
And we found only 479, roughly 25%, have been fully tested. Why?
What I didn't want to do is take these back rape kits, dump them into our system without any new people, and create a bigger backlog for a rape that had committed 5 days ago, and when we were very actively seeking to find out who that person was.
Kara Porter is a rape crisis counselor. Last year, 163 women were raped in Cleveland, 94 in Akron. She believes testing is vital.
There could be instances where there is someone committing serial assaults that would be found out in that case.
Good boy.
Meanwhile, Amanda Sloan says she'll continue to speak out for others.
I don't like the fact that people always feel sorry for me and that, they have to be careful around me, or that, I'm always going to be fragile and always going to be a victim. And my grandma pounds this into my head every day. I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor.
And Amanda promises she'll continue to speak out for other rape survivors. Now, of those 479 rape kits that have been tested, 28 have identified possible rapists, and 22 of those are right here in Cleveland. Now, you can log on to newsnet5.com and get the complete list of all untested rape kits submitted by police departments across Ohio. Reporting live in Cleveland, I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.
Sweeping change
changes tonight in the wake of an exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation. We first told you about thousands of so-called rape kits untested for decades. 5 on Your Side Chief Investigator Regan reports about dramatic changes since he first broke the story.
We spoke with rape victims, police departments, and went inside the state's crime lab. Since our 5 on Your Side investigation first aired last February, serial rapists are now behind bars.
We thought they had value, but didn't know how much. I've been stunned.
Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine's describing a surge in the number of rape kits like this now being tested. Last February, the 5 on Your Side investigators were the first media outlet to track a huge backlog. Our investigation found 2,000 across Ohio sat on police department shelves for years. Only 479 had been tested. Since then, nearly all of them have now been tested. It's a result of the Ohio Attorney General's Sexual Assault Initiative.
We're running 1 out of every 3 that we test, we're getting a hit on.
Rape kits contain DNA evidence. It's obtained from victims in the hours after an assault, and it can instantly identify suspects whose DNA is already on file. Our 5 on Your Side investigation obtained a computer database of rape kits across Ohio and gained rare access to Ohio's crime lab. Since our report first aired, DNA testing has now identified nearly 700 suspected rapists, 426 right here in Cleveland.
So we're going back to police departments and saying, hey, that case 17 years ago, that you didn't know who it was, we know who it was. We know who your rapist is.
Within 1 month of our report, the first 2 criminal indictments were filed. 60-year-old Charles Steele and 42-year-old Anthony Moore, both charged with separate 1993 rapes. And testing has identified serial rapists, like 48-year-old Delbert Buchwald, sentenced to 30 years in prison. DNA evidence linked him to 3 separate rapes. Rick Bell heads up Cuyahoga County's cold case unit.
It's been significant in my 25 years in the office. I've never seen this much energy by the county prosecutor put into solving cold cases.
As a result, 55 suspected rapists have been indicted so far this year, including serial rapist Elias Acevedo, who confessed to one of Cleveland's most sensational unsolved cases. 18-year-old Christina Adkins disappeared nearly 20 years ago. Elias Acevedo confessed to her murder after his DNA matched a separate 1993 rape case.
As we know, Acevedo is a killer, and so a lot of our serial rapists, I think we're going to find out, are also serial killers.
And since the 5 on Your Side investigators first began following untested rape kits, the total number turned over for testing has doubled. It's now hit 4,500, and half of those are from Cleveland alone. And we're told even more suspected rapists will be tracked down in the months ahead. On Your Side, I'm Chief Investigator Regan.